In the last video, some evidence was provided of Islamic fasts' pre-Islamic pagan origins. In this video, definitive proof from Islamic sources will be provided of its pagan origins. The Quran in 2:183 says that fasting was, quote, decreed upon those before you that you may become righteous, end quote. It is said that the term min qablikum, those before you, refers to the people of the book, in other words, the Jews and the Christians, who also have fasting as part of their religious practice, though not in the same way as Muslims do. The term those before you in the Quranic verse is significant because when Muhammad fasted before he proclaimed the religion of Islam in 610 AD, he did indeed fast, but more crucially, he did not fast according to the fast of the Jews or the Christians. Rather, he fasted according to the pagans. This is because he fasted in the then pagan month of Muharram, which was a pre-Islamic pagan fast on the 10th day of the month called Ashura. For example, it says in Sahih al-Bukhari 1893, narrated Aisha, the tribe of Quraysh used to fast on the day of Ashura in the pre-Islamic period, and then Allah's Apostle ordered Muslims to fast on it till the fasting in the month of Ramadan was prescribed. Whereupon the Prophet said, he who wants to fast on Ashura may fast, and he who does not want to fast may not fast. In Tirmidhi, it reiterates that Muhammad used to fast as the pagans did, but then Ramadan fasting superseded it. The renowned classical scholar Ahmad ibn Hanbal in his famous Musnad mentions a hadith saying that the pagan Arabs venerated and fasted on Ashura in expiation for a past sin, and they used to clothe the then pagan shrine of Kaaba on this particular day. This hadith is mentioned in the commentary to his book called Fathur Rabbani, volume 10, page 184, hadith 240, here underlined in red. The hadith found in Musnad Ahmad from the previous slide is also found amongst various other hadith collections and commentaries such as Fathul Bari by al-Asqalani. It is quoted in a classical book on the biography of Muhammad called Al-Mawahib al-Laduniyah by al-Qastalani, volume 3, page 130 says, quote, as for the Quraysh fasting on Ashura, perhaps they received it from the previous law, and that is why they venerated it by covering the Kaaba. And it was narrated from Ikramah that he was asked about that, and he said, the Quraysh committed a sin during the pre-Islamic era, so it became grave in their hearts. So it was said to them, fasting Ashura expiates that. He said it in Al-Fathul Bari on the authority of Ibn Umar. The people of the pre-Islamic era used to fast on the day of Ashura, end quote. The common rhetoric for Muslims is that they fast Ashura, not because of the pagans, but because the Jews did. This is where the origins of Ashura fasts within Islamic history gets convoluted, because there are hadiths that do say Muhammad ordered the fast on the day of Ashura because he saw Jews fasting on that day. For example, it says in Sahih al-Bukhari 4737, narrated Ibn Abbas, when Allah's Messenger arrived at Medina, he found the Jews observing the fast on the day of Ashura. The Prophet asked them about it, and they replied, This is the day when Moses became victorious over Pharaoh. The Prophet said to the Muslims, "We are nearer to Moses than they, so fast on that day." Notice, as evidence from the previous slides, Muhammad was already fasting on Ashura, but not on the basis of the Jews up to this point, but on the basis of the practices of the pagans. Also, Muhammad did not order the fast because Allah had told him through a revelation. It was because Muhammad inquired with the Jews who were fasting, and they, the Jews, mentioned to him the reason, namely an event which was the Exodus. Number 2, about a person, that being Moses, whom Muhammad wanted to relate to. But he mocks the Jews by saying Muslims are closer to Moses than them, and then decides all Muslims should fast on that day, but to do it better than the Jews, as will be shown next. The day in reference to Jews fasting in the aforementioned hadith is called Yom Kippur. It is also called the Day of Atonement. Not only did Muhammad learn the history behind the Day of Atonement from the Jews and the significance of the Exodus and Moses from them, he did not want to be outdone by them. So Muhammad advised his followers to be distinct from them so as to appear more pious and righteous than them and others. This is a common feature of Islam as explained in the previous video. So instead of fasting a full day and a bit as the Jews did, he advised Muslims to fast 2 days, the 9th and 10th days of the month of Muharram. It says in Sahih Muslim 1134, Ibn Abbas reported that when the Messenger of Allah fasted on the day of Ashura and commanded that it should be observed as a fast, they, his companions, said to him, "Messenger of Allah, it is a day which the Jews and Christians hold in high esteem." Thereupon the Messenger of Allah said, "When the next year comes, God willing, we would observe fast on the 9th, but the Messenger of Allah died before the advent of the next year." In this hadith found in Tirmidhi 755, although quite clearly it can be seen that it is not translated fully by the source. What it is missing is that it mentions some of the disagreements amongst the scholars, and in the Arabic underlined in red, it goes on to say, "It is reported from Ibn Abbas that he, Muhammad, said to fast on the 9th and 10th of the month, and to do so differently from the Jews. And this tradition, or hadith, is the same as was said by Ashafi, Ahmed, and Ishaq." Pictured here is a calendar of the Jewish year, which is lunisolar, meaning the months are based on lunar months, but the years are based on solar years. This is unlike the Islamic calendar, which is exclusively lunar, whereas the Gregorian calendar is exclusively solar. The Jewish calculation and determining of the start and end of a month is independent and completely different from the Islamic calculation methods for their months and years. This will be explained in a later video. Although the Jewish months are similar to Islamic months of being lunar months of 29 days alternating with 30 days, an extra month is intercalated every 3 years based on the Metonic cycle of 19 years. As the Islamic calendar is an exclusively lunar calendar, it moves backwards about 10 or 11 days every year relative to the Gregorian calendar. Within Judaism, the Day of Atonement, or Yom Kippur, does not fall in line with the then pagan Arab, later Islamic date of 10th Muharram. Instead, the Jewish fast starts on the 9th day and ends on the 10th day of a Jewish month called Tishri, not Muharram. For example, in 2021, on the 15th and 16th of September, it was Yom Kippur, and on the 18th and 19th of August, it was Ashura. The two dates are different because the calendars are different, as they run on two different systems and calculations. As the calculations are different, from time to time they fall in sync, meaning it may be that the Jewish fasting day of Yom Kippur on 10th of Tishri coincides with 10th Muharram. 2018 was the last time when both the days coincided. This synchronization could possibly have been the case when Muhammad arrived in Medina. What may have compounded the confusion for him further is the date falls on the same numbered day of the month, 10th of Tishri for the Jewish Day of Atonement and 10th of Muharram for the pagans. In addition, both days are fasting days, so this may also have confused Muhammad into thinking both these days always fall on the same day in synchronicity. Instead of realizing this mistake, this error is still being promulgated by the faithful and non-Muslim organizations alike as a propaganda tool. For example, the links are in the description. In the Faiths Forum London article, it says Yom Kippur and Ashura remind us of our overlapping traditions and shared values. And with a big picture of an imam and rabbi shaking hands and smiling, the imam's online website has the title Yom Kippur and Yom Ashura, Similarities between Jewish and Muslim traditions. So in conclusion, Islamic sources indicate that the Islamic fasts began as a pre-Islamic pagan fast that Muhammad practiced called Ashura. The Ashura fast had a significant meaning for the pagan Arabs, and therefore they venerated it as a day of fast. It was not a fast taken from the Judeo-Christian traditions as is commonly promulgated amongst Muslims. Jews do not commemorate and fast Yom Kippur on the 10th of Muharram. They fast on the 10th of Tishri. It may be that the 2 days were in sync when Muhammad visited Medina, who then thought they fasted on the 10th of Muharram, thereby giving the command that Muslims should fast on this day. But this is only after he learnt the significance of the day from the Jews. It was not through Allah or brought to him in a revelation via the angel Gabriel. Muhammad instructs Muslims to thereafter fast on 2 days as opposed to the 1 day Jews fasted, by erroneously claiming that they are closer to Moses than the Jews. This is another example of Islamic rulings, obligations, and commands designed to outdo, outperform, and excel others in an attempt to appear to be better and righteous than other religions. Muslims and non-Muslim organizations incorrectly still propagate the idea that 10th Muharram and 10th Tishri has a shared heritage. The reality is that they never have been shared, and the reasons for Muslims fasting on the day is not done in honor of a Judaic tradition, rather it is done in contempt of it and as a means of mocking the Jews because they claim they are better than them.